And people say, I don't know. You remember that quote? You all probably heard that quote. You heard it on the news. People use it in movies. It's become sort of a cult thing. It's this, what was the quote now? Believe me, if I started murdering people, there'd be none of you left. And that's Charles Manson, by the way, if you don't know where that comes from. That's this cult thing. Again, it's that aspect of it. People have made it fun. People have made it stupid. They've put it in your little anime videos on YouTube. That's the ending credits, or they put it with Duke Nukem or somebody else dumb like that. Charles Manson. And now when you hear the name Charles Manson, the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, didn't he kill some bitch that was pregnant? That's the first thing everybody thinks. Let me tell you something. Charles Manson is fascinating. And you know why Charles Manson is fascinating? Because he didn't fucking murder people. Alright, a lot of them were dead, but he didn't murder people. He wasn't into that. That's not why he did it. Some people, like, say, Jeffrey Dahmer, we heard of him. He murdered people because he wanted to kill people. He liked pain. He liked seeing them suffer. Well, not even that. He wasn't a sadist. There's a different story about that. I'll tell you a story that shows Jeffrey Dahmer was screwed up in the head, but he actually made sure the woman was very comfortable, and he asked her if he was pulling her hair, as he brutally murdered her, but something was off in his brain. But he's different from Charles Manson. Charles Manson was not a murderer. What Charles Manson was the perfect dominant figure, and he was here to tell you, to show you how submissive human beings are. He had women doing anything for him, literally killing for him, and why? Submissive psychology. He set himself up as the perfect dominant. He knew exactly how to twist their minds, and people always cite him, and they tried to pull John Lennon into this. They tried to say that the White Album was somehow responsible for this. Let me explain about the White Album. The White Album didn't mean anything. Charles Manson didn't think it meant anything. Even if we might think it means something, Charles Manson didn't. Charles Manson never for a second believed the White Album was worth shit. What he knew was that any group of people that they're going to do something crazy, they need dogma. Okay, religions know this. Organizations know this. Everyone knows this. Why do you think Tyler calls himself Tyler? Why do you think he uses Fight Club? Fight Club doesn't mean anything. It's some shit book that Palahniuk churned out and didn't even know the ending to until he was finished. It wasn't supposed to be some goddamn movement. It was a commentary on wrestling circles. It really legitimately was. He didn't know what he was doing. They never know what they're doing. These artists never know what they're doing. And that's the death of the author. Ironically, you'll never have heard of Barthes, the guy who wrote Death of an Author, because, well, he died, but puns aside, that's the whole point. Divorcing the writing from the person who wrote it. The idea of interpretive. You can interpret something, or you can look at it the way the author intended it to be looked at, okay? All of literary theory is based on this concrete, fucking stupid idea that there's some sort of tenure given to what the author intended. No, that is not what happened, okay? John Lennon didn't intend for people to murder people. However, the White Album got people very, very dead. That should be a perfect argument right there. Or how we have, say, conservative circles who somehow have taken Horton Hears a Who, which is first off, a kid's book, and second off, according to Dr. Seuss, it was, anecdote. I think Seuss is wrong. There's actually a different way we're supposed to be pronouncing it. I'll look it up in a minute. Forget it. But that was supposed to be a commentary on, say, Vietnam. Now we have these conservative circles who are saying it's an argument against abortion. What? No. Now, I am all for freedom of speech. I will defend to the death your right to be a fucking idiot. Fine, they can go be a fucking idiot, and they can rally around this stupid book. You can have all of these various crazy people carrying their copy of Catcher in the Rye. Fine. You can do that, but do not ever think for a second that the author had anything to do with that. Now, back to what I was saying. It's dogma, it's useless, it's empty, but he knew they needed something to scratch across the fucking walls of blood. They needed something to rally around, to believe, and even if it was utter shit, they just needed words. They needed a mantra. They needed some sort of power symbol. Countries have done this too. Yeah, your V for victory or your swastika, those are power symbols. People need that. People need something to rally around and to say. People need to say, God save the Queen. People need to say, Number 9, number 9. People need to say, not your fucking khakis. People need something like that. And anytime somebody's slipping, all Tyler has to do, grab you by the chin and say, not a fucking weekend retreat. That's all it takes. All it takes is a set of dogma, a set of goddamn words that don't mean anything, that weren't intended to mean anything, and sound sufficiently abstract. And the trick is, if you can't pin down a meaning, everybody's got their own. Therefore, you have the perfect set of dogma. This is what Charles Manson was about. This is what he was doing. He was interested in playing with human psychology, playing with submissive psychology. He knew he had power and he wanted to fuck with it. He wanted to see how far could he make this thing go. And yeah, he was angry. He was angry at society. And when they asked him if he felt remorse, you know what he said he was sorry for? He was apologetic that he didn't kill enough people. He didn't fuck up enough. He didn't give enough back to America. And I'm not in support of murdering people. I've never been in support of murdering people. That's not something that I do. But I am in support of a man who, he wasn't a murderer. He never intended necessarily for murder. Murder is one of those things that spirals out of control in the same way where you never really intended to cheat on your girlfriend. It just kind of happened. I understand that's a level of psychosis that shouldn't occur. But when you give a man power, sometimes he forgets what to do with it. And he had power. And he had power because we gave it to him. And he would get up there on trial, and he would say, you guys have spit in my face. You've locked my hands behind my back. You'll throw me in solitary for no reason. What do you think I'm going to do when I get out? Or not even just that. He was all about social commentary. He made a point. He made a point of saying, when I look around this world, I didn't kill enough of you fucking people. I didn't get rid of enough of you pieces of shit. You haven't changed. Nothing's changed. Do you realize he was ineffective? It doesn't matter how many of you fucks he would have killed, or I would have killed, or Tyler would have killed. It doesn't matter, because you keep on going in your stupid little circles. Nothing fucking gets to you anymore. Violence doesn't get to you. Death doesn't get to you. Blood doesn't get to you. Nothing gets to you. Do you realize we live in a country where you can rip off someone's head and you'll let your 14-year-old play that video game, but if they show tits, it's 18 plus. What is wrong with that? Do you realize what's wrong with that situation when we're raised in this... I could do this for hours, but I'm not going to do this for hours. Someone said Charles Manson. Someone said something about Charles Manson on the internet. And yes, I know, it's not a good reason to get all upset and bent out of shape. Someone's wrong on the internet. Oh my God, such a revelation. I mean, that's just new. But somebody was wrong on the internet. I had to say something. Now, didn't I say Dr. Seuss was pronounced differently? Someone want to check up on that for me? How is Dr. Seuss supposed to be pronounced? Let me Google it. Seuss. Dr. Seuss. Doesn't it say on this page, it's going to say, just wait, I swear. It says, pronounced... No. I swear it's on this page. You're wrong as the deuce, and you shouldn't rejoice. If you're calling him Seuss, he pronounces it Seuss. Aha! He pronounces it Seuss. Everybody, tell your children, Dr. Seuss. Thank you. I'm done.